The reading from December 7th is Psalm 24, verses 7 to 10. We're going backwards a little bit, but actually I'm going to start at the beginning of Psalm 24 and read the entire psalm for context. It is a psalm of David. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and those who dwell therein. For he has founded it upon the seas and established it upon the rivers. Who shall ascend to the hill of the Lord, and who shall stand in his holy place? He who has clean hands and a pure heart, who does not lift up his soul to what is false, and does not swear deceitfully. He will receive blessing from the Lord and righteousness from the Lord, the God of his salvation. Such is the generation of those who seek him, who seek the face of the God of Jacob. Lift up your heads, O gates, be lifted up, O ancient doors, that the King of glory may come in. Who is the King of glory? The Lord, strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O gates, and lift them up, O ancient doors, that the King of glory may come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord of hosts. He is the King of glory. Psalm 24, again, a psalm of David, is true in some regards to David's own time, that there was a requirement of righteousness in order to even worship, to ascend the hill of God. And yet there is a sense in which this is unfulfilled. This is not known in his own day. And again, this psalm is more true of Christ than it is of David. That's found in that the fullness of the entire earth never was David's, never was Solomon's. And in fact, the only one who is ruler of all the world is Christ. There's this question, who may ascend? Only he who has clean hands and a pure heart. Of course, we know this is a description of the pure, spotless perfection of Christ once we get to the New Testament. There's an interesting element here in Psalm 24:5 that there seems to be a fulfilling of an ancient covenant here, an ancient agreement. He will receive blessing from the Lord and righteousness from the God of his salvation. Theologians sometimes talk about this either as a fulfillment of what they call the covenant of works, what Adam was supposed to do in the garden but didn't fulfill in keeping God's law, and Jesus does, or with the covenant of redemption. This is the idea that there is some sort of pact between the persons of the Trinity, that there's an agreement that the Son will fulfill this and the Father will reward him for his obedience. There's some debate of, is it one or the other, or is it both? Well, Christ is perfect, and therefore he has received the merit of his actions, and he receives the just reward for what he does on the cross and in his perfect life and in his resurrection. There is a question that repeats, who is this King of glory? The Lord, strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. David himself knew that he was not the Lord. And so when he says, who is this king that he's talking about, David seems to indicate, it's not me that I'm talking about. There's a greater king to sit on the throne that is not me. Psalm 24 tells us the king who is coming is a king of glory who will be perfect in his actions and will receive a reward for what he does. The reward being his people, his bride. That's the reading preparing for Christmas of Psalm 24.